So do we have a purpose? Um, I think that's up to us. It's up to us to make that. We are probably guided at a really high level, maybe some direction, but not a pathway.
Yeah.
And then we find along the way what part of that trail or path or road or whatever we're going to take.
How do you think we got here? Do you think like it was the Big Bang, or like how do you think we got here? Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I'm a scientist, so
Yeah. So
we
let's hear
evolved. There's no
it.
doubt
Yeah.
about that in my life,
Yeah.
in anything. So a little bit post Big Bang, but interesting. Lots of new science on how life came, onto the
Yeah.
planet. You have all the basic, atoms, and they form molecules and throw a little electricity in there, and you can maybe create the building blocks of life. But I think they've recently discovered them on asteroids,
Yeah.
so it could have been a celestial body. Again, I don't think somebody's shooting that celestial body from some type of gun or whatever from far away. I mean, it just
Right.
accidentally kind
Yeah.
of hit. We had all the perfect conditions.
And life
Life
beyond.
forms, and
Yeah.
then life evolves, and it just takes time.
Yeah.
And we've had a few near misses in life, right? Big volcanic eruptions,
Yeah.
big asteroid collisions, that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, we've evolved. And
So what do you think about like the pyramids? Like,
oh, so like, is there some kind of interstellar
well, I don't know,
direction?
because have you seen
It's
the new stuff where they found those big coils underneath them?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think it's distinct possibility. What are there, a trillion galaxies or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
So other life out there. I have always wondered, what would anything capable of interstellar travel, interest
I
anybody
know.
passing
I
through?
know.
What is it
I
about
know.
us? I
Right.
kind of think, again, it's maybe accidental. Maybe they're
Yeah.
exploring, and then it's just a matter of what side of the positive negative spectrum they're in, right? We're
Yeah.
either they're gonna deplete our resources and eat us and leave, or maybe they give us a few clues and hints and say, hey, if you do it this way, orient this way, you'll be able to see this. And
Yeah.
I'm just not sure. I'm not convinced that we're worth a visit. What do
Yeah.
we
Well,
offer them if they can
right. Exactly. And
navigate the
because
universe?
I think about like, you hear about like people being abducted and they're like floating through the house, right?
Yeah, right.
In like saucers that don't make any noise. And I'm like, well, here we are with our hammers,
Yeah, we're
Sandy Pound Rock.
yeah. I would think too, and it's always been a. I love science fiction, Star
Okay.
Trek and
Yeah.
Star Wars, and I've always loved that. And I really enjoyed the things the writers missed in terms of how things were going to be. I mean, you see the first Star Trek, they had needles and dials, and they weren't
Right.
thinking analog, weren't thinking digital.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and I just saw the Disclosure movie,
Oh,
which
you
is,
did?
yeah, it was
What did you think about it?
I thought it was really good, and mostly in terms of the profoundness of letting it out,
Yeah.
not so much about the movie and how things are maybe that work. But yeah, I just find it difficult to believe that anything that can travel light speed or light speed plus is going to stop by here and is going to need to come down here and get us to
Yeah.
take them to their ship to figure out where we are. I mean, if they could do that, they've already got that dialed in. I think that's kind of ancillary, but maybe they want to plant a couple seeds, and maybe that's happened. I'm not going to deny it, because there's no doubt in my mind there's other life out there, and
Yeah.
it seems just ridiculous that we tend to, we ask the question. To me,
I mean, it
it's
was
just,
so arrogant. Like,
yeah,
we're the smartest thing in the
yeah.
galaxy.
But the good thing about the Disclosure movie, I thought, was there, it's they don't disclose it. I think there's probably people tend to panic and maybe find the worst possible outcomes and go that direction. And then there's also the Almighty God, and we're the chosen ones, and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of more open mindedness in religions that would perfectly allow for, there to be other life on other parts of this universe, and we're just part of it. But
Yeah.
maybe we're the apex on this planet. We don't seem to be behaving that way these days, but
Mm.
generally, it's kind of a car crash coming here, I think, in this society. But Yeah.
Flat tire
So
on the side of the road.
yeah. Oh no, a lot of roadkill on this trip, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So have you ever had any like supernatural uh thing happen
Hmm.
to you that you like ghosts or
So
anything?
yeah, sometimes I think you experienced. I think I had a little ghost
Yeah.
issue in the house. You helped me kind of clear that up, and I honestly think that there was something traumatic that happened here because I mean, and I don't know why I applied the female gender to her, but it was kind of she just seemed to do things that maybe it's because I just went through this divorce or something. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't fair, but yeah, so it felt that, but nothing ever moved or anything like that. But my mom used to do seances.
Get out of here.
Absolutely. And she would do these and we kind of did them growing up. And so she would go to psychics and would go through all the stuff that would, the psychic predicted and the other 99.9% of it didn't get talked about a lot. So, but no, she used to do seances and she would ask them questions and it was kind of a I don't even know if there's a style or whatever it was, but it was a use of a table and everybody's hands were on the table and the spirit would lift one end of the table once for yes, twice for
Oh
no,
my
spell out
God.
letters and stuff. So
Like a
it,
Ouija board, or was it just a
it was just
table?
any kind of four-legged table, and
Wow.
and there's not a doubt in my mind there was something moving that table because our hands were all on top of the table, and the table would come up, and so yeah, there's that's out there.
And
There.
was she like, "Hey kids, time for the séance"?
So she would have probably, if I recall, because I'm guessing I was probably 6, 7, 8, 9, that range, and so there were probably certain friends that wanted to do it, or
Yeah.
and they would get, "Hey, let's just do a séance," and she was able to call spirits, and somebody would want to ask a question, and she would ask the friend would ask a question of a loved one that had passed, and they would answer it in the only way that loved one would know,
Wow. Wow.
and yeah, it was quite so. Yes, the answer your question is yes, definitely, and I
Wow.
believe that there's spiritual realm that we walk through all the time, and they're here.
Yeah.
I don't. Part of why I believe we retain consciousness from past lives, I think, is because there's this transition between dying and whatever you're doing next, whatever it is, and that transition, I think, was this interface with these seances, and they knew what was going on. It
Yeah.
seemed like in some cases, but maybe it was not. I mean, it was there was no regalia. There's very little for them. It just had to people had to be serious and concentrate and
Wow.
kind of follow the mantra.
That's
And
crazy.
but it was it was not celebrated. It was not joked with.
Yeah.
It was lighthearted to some degree. We never really had any bad experiences or anything.
Yeah.
So maybe we got lucky.
When my stepdad died, he died in Washington State, and like in the morning he would wear his pajamas and he had a robe that was open, and he had a beard, and he would always stand in this particular way where he would just be standing there looking down at the ground scratching his beard. And like the day after he died, I walked into my bathroom in Arizona down the road, and he was standing there.
Really?
I mean, like clear as day, it was him. And like I walked in and I thought, oh, like he was there so much so I thought, oh my God, I just walked in on my dad in the bathroom. And then I looked at him and I was like, what are you doing here? And
Wow.
he just disappeared. It was so
Just,
crazy.
yeah. Say goodbye
Yeah, I guess
or
so.
hello.
I mean, or hello, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what do you think about like living in Patagonia? Do you like the area, like the people?
Just love it.
Yeah.
I mean, just really love it. I like the community. Did have to drive to Sonoyta to the one restaurant that was open on Monday night last
Hmm.
night, but I know there's a place to eat in Nogales too. But you just have to learn to deal with that. And then, of course, Michelle's come into my life now, so
Yeah.
yeah, it makes everything so much different. But
Yeah.
no, I like the people. I somehow just got talked into joining the planning and development committee for the town.
How cool is that?
So
Oh
yeah,
my God,
I
they picked the
start there.
right guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Wow.
should be interesting.
That is
I've
amazing.
kind of avoided um, a lot of the extra curricular stuff relative because my vision and my passion has just been getting this house done, and
Yeah.
even though I never really had a true vision of what it was going to be. It all seemed to just happen on its own. And
Yeah.
but no, I like the little market. We've got some great friends,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I like being in the mountains and
Yeah.
wildlife and walks and birds. And yeah, it's a real mixed bag culturally. I don't think I've ever lived in a place where we have all the exterior drivers, right? The
Yeah.
tourists, the bikey people, the mine, the pro development, anti development, right, left politically, and sometimes those
Absolutely.
swap over based on pro development, anti development.
Right.
It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah, and the
And
birders and like
yeah,
even like culturally, it is so crazy to me that there are people here from like, the Middle East, there are people here from Europe, there are
yep,
people here from South America, there are people here from all
all over.
over the world.
It is a really special place, I
Yeah,
think.
it truly
And that
is.
registered with me 200 yards into town. I'm like, this is my place. And it's just been fantastic.
Yeah, let me tell you that Brad is not gay for sure, but he has better than gay man taste. He is just everything he designs and he does. I am just constantly in awe and thinking he is one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in my whole life. I mean,
You're
he creates the
way
most
too
beautiful
kind.
things. No, I mean, it is true. And he's so humble and is so low key about it. I mean, he's got a switch on his gate out there that is in the shape of a flying saucer. And you would think that you push it down, but you don't push it down. You lift it up like the flying saucer is going up into the air, which is amazing. And I love it. Like he thinks about all those little details all the time. And I mean, just so interesting to me.
Yeah, and they all just come into my head, and that's the problem. Once they get in there, they're not getting out very easily. So
Right.
and
I
I just got
love
to
it.
figure out a way to do it.
I
So
just
that's
love
been
it.
fun. But that's why it's been 3 years, and I'm still not quite done. But maybe I'll get
I mean, once you get it done, like, what are you going to work
there. I got
on?
a shop back there. I'm going to build so I could actually have a space to really do some creation. But I know
Yeah.
me, and if I don't finish this before I do that, that will become my next thing, and this will become the someday I'll get to that. So I'm not touching that
Yeah.
until I got, not everything will be perfect, not everything will be done, but everything will be functional, and
Yeah.
I won't have a plywood box on the wall. That there's
Right.
just things that I need to wrap up. I've got my list. It's getting
Yeah.
shorter.
I'm cause I'm a finisher. Like I have to finish what I start. If I
That's
don't, like I will lay awake in the middle of the night, like, oh man, why didn't I do that? Or, like with everything I'm working on, I try to take the extra 5 minutes because if I don't, I will be laying in bed at night thinking, oh, I should have taken, the extra time to do that because most of the people that I go and do stuff at their house, we become friends. And then I'm tortured by
yeah.
looking at that one thing that I should have taken the 5 minutes
The
to do
extra to
for
do.
the rest of our relationship. And I
That
can't
is a tough
stand it.
hurdle.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Well, finishing everything has not always been my strong suit.
Oh,
But interesting, had a conversation with Lynn Weatherby,
okay.
who was the seller's agent.
Okay.
And we became really good friends and had the conversation. And she's been integrated in a lot of the spiritual aspects of this town for quite some time. And I just told her, I said, yeah, I have a lot of unfinished projects. And she's like, well, Brad, this house is your test. This not only does Patagonia either spit you out or suck you in, but if it sucks you in, it's going to test you.
Yeah.
This is your test. You have to get this done before you start. I had plans to develop another house and a shop, and maybe
Yeah.
it's all a house. And so I was like, okay, that's my challenge. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this baby done.
Wow. And so when I first met Brad, I was there when he actually met his lady friend, Michelle, who is just amazing. She's so beautiful and just so kind and brilliant. And she's got great taste and design sense. And so knowing you then before, we'll say before Michelle, and then
Yeah.
knowing you now after Michelle, you just seem so much like and I don't want to say this in a rude way or a way that's disrespectful, but you just seem so much more complete. Do you feel an aspect of that?
Absolutely. Completes one of the aspects.
Yeah.
And I think when we first met, I was going through a bit of a health scare. It turned out to be just, I think, getting old. And then, but I was all wound up with everything, and
Hmm.
I went through a couple of things which you experienced here that really taught me I need to work on just allowing things to happen, because no matter what you do or how you get mad at it, it's going to happen, and then you got to deal with it. So I'm trying to. So yeah, there was a huge void, and just being out there and being single and doing the dating thing, and it was all. This wasn't everything there. In fact, I like to say two things about Michelle for sure. Her mom passed probably 15, 16 years ago. My mom just passed 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think they got together and said, these two got to get together. Because she went through kind of an unexpected divorce, and was just now, after a year and a half of grieving, just kind of opening up to the dating scene. I think I was number four.
Hmm.
And so we just realized how how good we were together. And I can share my theory with you on that in a second, my scientific
Yeah.
theory on how things work. But it was just like, the first thing she said was, I just want you to know, I'm never getting married again, and I'm going to continue to date other men.
Mm.
And I'm like, perfect, that's awesome, because I'm still out there trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
But I knew the first date was like, uh-oh. And then 3 weeks later, it was like, oh my God, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
And I think you sense that, when you hug somebody, when you know somebody. So my, and I don't know how scientific this is, my conjure this stuff up from just a little bit of science I picked up along the way, but my belief is there's probably a spiritual side. So yeah, moms got together and said they'll be perfect, and we are absolutely perfect. It's so amazing. But I think, all our bodies give off vibrations. All kinds of stuff in our bodies create sound waves, and
Yeah.
they're imperceptible to our ears, or can't even really feel them with touch or whatever. But interesting thing about waves is, when waves come together, they do one of two things. They either grow or they cancel each other, right? And that's called interference, wave interference. And so
Okay.
you get waves if it's on the rise up, and it hits another wave on the way down, they level out. No, there's nothing there, and
Wow.
it's all a function of their height and frequency. But when you get two waves that are synchronized and they go together,
Yeah.
then that energy doubles. And I
Yeah.
just think that's what happens with people. Whatever the vibrations you're emitting and I'm emitting, they are either going to interfere constructively and build, or they're going to cancel each other out, or somewhere in between. But sometimes you get those waves that are perfect, and that's what I felt happened with her. It was
Wow.
just like, oh my God, this is
Yeah.
it's so fast, so way more. And then I've concluded all of this extra stuff I did on my house. I mean, I was going to flip this house. I was just going to redo the kitchen, redo the bathroom, put a new roof on it, paint it, live there, build my place back there.
Hmm.
And for some reason, I was doing everything, kind of, nice counter and doing this fancy shelves. And I'm like, and my buddies that were helping are like, what the hell are you doing this for? I'm like, I don't know. I just think it needs to be done. And I think she's the reason I needed to do it. And I didn't even
Yeah.
know her then. So,
Yeah.
so that, yeah, that's been great. I don't know if I got way off the
No,
question
no,
there,
no,
but
no.
whatever.
That
Okay.
you're doing great. It's interesting because I also have met somebody recently. I actually met her 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I am having a very similar experience that Brad is having with his lady. And it's interesting because my person speaks my language a lot closer than most people. And so I'm used to talking to people, not you,
Yeah.
but other people, and telling them what my experience is. And they kind of go vacant. They're
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
but I love you. And I'm going
Yeah.
to sit here and act like I'm listening and I understand, but they don't at all. But I can just say the smallest little thing to my lady, and she's right there with me. Like I'm like pondering something, and she's like, well, that happens because of blah 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 and blah blah blah. And I like looking at her and I'm thinking to myself, holy fuck, she really like she
It's,
gets me. She knows
yeah,
me in ways that I don't even know myself.
that is so cool.
I
I am so happy for you, both of
thank you. I
you. It is
appreciate
so
that.
neat.
And
Yeah.
it's interesting because there's a huge population of lesbians here in Patagonia, and we all used to hang out thick as thieves, and everybody is like kind of doing their own things right now. Some of us are business owners and have started other businesses, and others are traveling, and others have are big into sports. And it's been interesting that I don't see my posse as much as I used to, but like one of my closest friends, I would say my best friend in Patagonia is Carrie.
Yeah.
And I just spoke to her briefly yesterday morning, and she said, I am so glad you're with your lady because you two just seem right together. You seem good together.
Yeah.
And, um, it's like one of those things where you're not really paying attention, and then
You're not
somebody says
conscious of
something
it.
to you, and you're like, oh, I guess that's right. That does feel
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah, I
interesting.
think they pick up on it, especially somebody that knows you and sees the little subtle ways you change, the way your eyes light up, the way you
Yeah,
smile, or how you just the way you move around between here and the car or whatever. There's all
right.
those things that are now just there's a little more
Yeah,
energy and purpose and joy and all that. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think
that's
it's funny
really cool.
because she was getting in her car going up to Tucson, and I was making every excuse in the world so I could get an extra kiss before she left. She was like, "I gotta go." I was like,
That's
"Okay, one more kiss." Yeah,
very so cool.
that has just been, it's been, yeah, pretty
Oh, I'm
amazing.
so happy.
Well, I'm so happy for you too.
Yeah,
It's like, because I feel like in life you struggle and you do hard things all the time, and you try to show up and be the best you can, and you're unhappy and you're doing shit that you don't want to do, and then you find yourself at a little place in Patagonia, and all of a sudden you're just doing all this stuff and you don't know why you're doing it, and then there she is.
there she is. Perfect timing.
Exactly, and perfect timing for
Yeah.
her too.
Oh, it was. Yeah, couldn't have been different. Couldn't have happened any other way.
Yeah, and you guys have done some really cool things, like you went to did you go to Burning Man or Coachella?
Burning Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were Virgin Burners last year. Not going this year, but that was great. That was
yeah.
the experience. Yeah, we have a we do a lot of camping, traveling, and so we've she loves to camp in the get out in the sticks. So
Yeah,
that works out well.
it's so cool. And so, do you guys think you'll be camping around, like? Because I know you did a trek down to the Baja
Yep,
in
that
Mexico.
was 2 years ago. Drove to Cabo and back.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So no problems for you at all going down and coming
No,
back. And do
no.
you speak Spanish?
Well, poquito no muy bueno. So a little bit, and I kept trying, but there was it was nervous for the first 50, 60 miles,
Yeah.
and then it was just like, wow, this is just so good. And then the rest of the other 1,100 or 1,200 miles were just not a problem. So
Wow.
yeah, it was really great, unbelievable,
So you
and
were received well and no problem. Like,
completely, yeah,
wow.
completely.
Okay.
It's usually the border zones. I'd say it's either side of the border. It's not just the Mexicans. It's either side of the border where I get the most antsy or maybe uncomfortable or whatever. But once you get past all that, and everybody's just there to enjoy everything. I mean, it was the first military stop because he was, was a little bit nerve wracking. I
Yeah.
just realized this kid's probably 17 years old, and he's probably from some little village somewhere else, and he doesn't know anything. And the only and it got to the point on the way back I was able to joke with him
Oh.
and make him laugh. Like that was my kind of trick was he said something about, well, hey, he just happened to have a girlfriend in Arizona.
Oh.
One of the
Okay.
guys that when I said I was going back to Arizona, the other guy lit up and said, hey, so then I go, oh, you got a girlfriend in Arizona? You want me to look her up? Well, I'm going to be back there in a couple of days.
Oh, that's
And he's
funny.
just like, go, just go.
You
A
get out of
little
here.
embarrassed, but that was perfectly fine. I a
Wow.
really good friend from high school has had a place or has a place in Cabo. So, and then there was a wedding,
Mhm.
one of those destination weddings. That was interesting. So we did a little posh. So we did kind of, and then I went down to my buddy's house and we fished a lot. And then I
I
just
was
got in
just
the
gonna
truck
ask you
and
if you fished.
oh yeah, Yeah, that was fun.
Very cool.
So loved it. But let's see. Then Michelle and I went up to Montana. I've got 5 college buddies. We do a trip every year,
Yeah.
and that year was Montana. So a friend of mine been up in he's in Whitefish, but we ended up being in the West Yellowstone, Ennis, Livingston area, and
Cool.
we just did everything you could possibly do there. It was about a week. That was fun. I could tell you it was a great test for Michelle because I took her to one of my really cool favorite places in Idaho,
Hmm.
out of Rexburg, which is right in the very southwestern tip of Yellowstone National Park, but it's
Okay.
in Idaho, and there's no roads into the park there, so you can hike in. And I've never in my life even fathomed mosquitoes could be so bad.
Oh
And
God.
we went in there and we pulled in, and I opened the door, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of mosquitoes. Well, it was like it was unbelievable. We probably had, I'm not kidding, we had hundreds of them in the camper just from going in and
Oh
out.
my God.
And I woke up the next morning and it was hot enough to where I had to have I didn't really want any cover, but I pulled a sheet. We slept in mosquito hoods,
Oh my
and
God.
she counted the bites on my chest. I had 55 bites in this front quarter of my body.
Oh
And
my
when I
God.
looked at the sheet, there was just all these spots of blood, and I'm just laying there going, "Okay, she's never coming back. We're never doing anything again." She
Yeah.
was like, we probably ought to just get out of here and let's go buy some of those, zapper
Yeah.
paddle things, and yeah, it's perfectly fine. What an experience. Yeah, I'm
Whoa.
like, wow, okay. I'm
Whoa.
never freaking going back to that place. But apparently, I'd been there a couple years before, and it was nothing like that. But I guess you go up until the 4th of July. There's some. It's well known in the region, which is probably why we were the only campers in the whole place, which I
Yeah.
thought was kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
this is bizarre. This should be packed.
Right.
They all knew
So
you
that
don't
was
go.
around right around the 4th of
It
July.
was week before,
Okay.
and apparently around 4th of July, they're all done. Mosquitoes
Okay.
are all done with their
Good.
thing.
Good.
So yeah, we did this last year, Death Valley and Escalante, and
Oh wow,
my
how cool is
favorite
that?
place in the country, which is by Natural Bridges National Monument, Dark Canyon Wilderness, by the Abajo Mountains in Utah, if anybody knows that. But it just burned down, biggest fire in the country.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's gone. 110,000 acres
Oh
of,
my
yeah.
God. Was it
But
what caused it? Do you know?
no, they don't know, but probably lightning.
Okay.
There's a there. We were there. We drove 150 miles, 75 in, 75 back. We saw a ranger, one group camping in 3 vehicles. So there's
Whoa.
nobody, and
Whoa.
it looked like the fire started down in the canyon. So it's probably, I don't know, 1,800 feet deep canyon, but
Wow.
the rim is at 8,500 feet. So
Oh
you're
my
in
God.
ponderosa pines, and
Yeah.
you look down this valley, and then it all drains into the Colorado River right above Lake Powell,
How
below
cool is
Cataract
that?
Canyon.
Oh my God.
It's gone. It's just
Wow.
freaking gone. But we got to see it. We enjoyed a couple nights in there, and
Yeah.
that was fun.
Well, we're getting ready to go up to there's a festival up in White Sulphur Springs, Montana. It's called Red Ants Pants. And it's a company out of White Sulphur Springs that actually makes workwear for women. So their
Nice.
pants and their clothes, all
Yeah.
the things. So
Are you vending stuff while you're
not
there?
yet.
Not yet.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not at my conception phase yet, but I'm
Okay.
I'm still creating. Um, we'll talk about that later. But so we're gonna go up, and we're definitely gonna check it out for stuff like that. But we're going to the music festival and we're camping. So my gal has not really done a lot of camping. So
Okay.
we're in one night we're gonna stay in a yurt, another night we're gonna stay in a cabin. We're gonna camp in our tent one night in Moab, and then we're gonna camp for 4 nights at the festival. And then we're
Okay.
taking a different route home, and we're gonna do a cabin, and then we're gonna stay in a 1962 vintage trailer one night.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're just gonna
So
we're
your
10 days
drive time,
total.
how many days up? 3?
I think it's 3 or 4 days
Okay,
up
at
and then
least 3.
2 days
Otherwise,
back.
you're just on the road all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
we're
that
looking forward
sounds
to that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And has she been to Moab, Utah area
She hasn't
before?
been to
Oh, she'll be blown away.
any of those places. We because she wants to travel, and I definitely want to travel more. And so we have been doing day trips here in
Yeah.
Arizona to check out things. You know, we went to Bisbee and Tombstone and
Yeah.
Douglas, and we're gonna just really like take our circle out bigger and bigger and bigger, and then head out to New Mexico and
Yeah.
Utah, Colorado, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, we should talk. I got lots of great
Oh,
advice, and
great.
I gotta make you download this app though, the My Radar app, and then you can check for
Okay.
fires. The
Oh,
fires
okay,
are the problem,
for
right?
sure.
That's like it's the new normal, and
That
you
it
and
just
it
sucks.
might direct your web. You know, when we went through Montana, we drove up through up Lake Powell Page, Kanab, and
So
then up through the Sevier
beautiful.
Valley,
Yeah.
and that's where that big beaver fire was. I mean,
Okay.
you can't go there, so you might, but Moab is all, mostly rock and
Okay.
sandstone, so you should be fine. But from there, I'm trying to figure out how you're going. When we can talk about this later, but you're probably heading over to 15 and then up
I
Salt
think
Lake.
that's
Yeah,
right.
it should be fine.
Oh, are we going to Salt Lake?
Or are you going to go up through Vernal, Green River, Rock Springs? That's the way
I
we
think
went.
I think we're going through Rock Springs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where all my family's from.
Oh,
Both
really?
sides, Rock Springs, Wyoming. Yeah,
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I haven't spent hardly any time in Wyoming, and so we want to hit up some hot springs and stuff along the way. Just check it out, see what's going on.
yeah. Well, that drive, because you end up going up through Jackson Hole,
That's
and
right. Yeah,
that drive by the Wind Rivers is just fabulous.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
and then Jackson Hole's a bit overwhelming nowadays, right? It's one of the places the billionaires have pushed the millionaires
Oh
out, kind of thing.
God.
So you kind of don't, do what you want there. I would bypass it,
Yeah.
but and then I will tell you a campground not to camp at before the 4th of July if you're. It's right around that corner, but
Okay.
yeah, you go out of Jackson and then up into Idaho,
Okay. Yeah.
and then there's all kinds of stuff up there.
I mean, I'm just
Wonderful.
I'm so excited. All right, let's get back to this interview.
So we're at
Interview.
question 4 now, right? Of
Yeah.
30. How long are these supposed to go?
Oh, they run about 30 minutes.
Okay.
What are we at? We're at, does that say 40 minutes?
43 minutes,
Okay.
37, but I have nowhere to go today. So
Okay.
it's just a matter of how viewers can much
Well,
they can tolerate.
actually, a lot of these we've just talked about. Okay. So, um, how do you feel like what does it mean to be a man in today's world? Like, what does that look like to you?
Oh, God. It's a it's kind of a tough one, and I think about the negative side of it because I've got a relative who's kind of lives in the manosphere, which
Okay.
is not a good place to be, right?
Okay.
So it's and I think if I think about the question is what is it? What do I feel? What is my view? I mean, are you a man or not a man? Is that the kind of depth you want me or pathway you want me
Well,
to
I
take?
mean, what
Or
what I just like I don't know. I just the times is so weird,
times are
like
strange.
the really just
Yeah, so I mean, we could
bizarre.
talk about roles. There's traditional roles. There's modern roles.
Yeah,
There's
like
whatever.
like
So are
like
we?
what is your experience on like a day to day? Like, do you feel like you have a responsibility to like uh like model yourself for other men around you, or
No, I mean, I just be who I am,
okay,
and I don't need to be manly.
right,
I think
right.
I might be manly, but it's not that does not what drives me.
You're not trying to be
I'm
something.
not,
You're just being Brad.
nor am I. I'm just not a. I don't go into groups. I don't join
Yeah.
clubs. I don't, for that whole vibe of you got to be like us and
Yeah.
we're better than them kind of thing. So no, I just like to be myself and let people be themselves. So
Yeah.
what I don't like a lot of the negative side of manliness and men, I find to be pretty just disturbing. It's just so unnecessary. I mean, you could just look at the current administration, and that's kind of like
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
those are the role models for so many of the
Right.
men today. And you're like, that's just wrong. We're
Right.
gonna be manly and make choices by somebody's skin color
Which is
or their birth gender or
bizarre to
whatever. I
me.
mean, it's
Oh,
like,
that is
why?
bizarre to me.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like, it kind of branches off, and I know my brain will overcomplicate complicate this, but there's a whole diversity element of this, which is just really hard for me. I mean, I spent all most of my career working work for an oil company, geologist for a while in environmental cleanup and health and safety and stuff. And it's like diversity is what made us work.
Yeah.
And I spent 5 years over in Europe. I was the token American,
Oh,
and there were white people, like Malaysian, and I worked for an Egyptian, and I had a Libyan staff person and a
wow.
British
Okay.
staff person and Dutch, and it was all
Cool. That's
it was
cool.
all just so. It's what made us do the best because we could tap into all of their experiences and all
Hmm.
of their energy and all of their intelligence. And it seems like the current kind of manosphere thing is really limiting
Hmm.
looking outside. We just want to talk to ourselves and people like us, and then we just then that whole negativity is just going to escalate.
Yeah.
So I don't. I guess I'd be hard pressed to say I don't readily identify people on the basic level, man or woman,
Right.
right? And admittedly, I really struggle with all the pronouns out there.
Oh
So
my
I'm
God.
like,
We won't even
okay,
start on
look,
that.
what are you
Yeah.
what are you going? And we have that in our world. Michelle's family is
Yeah.
a member of a polycule, and I'm learning. They're
Hmm.
really tolerant of me about that. But no, I don't. I mean, there's not a man in that household. There's a trans,
Yeah.
and they do just fine. They do things just great, and they tear in and work on their house, and they do all these man things.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Why do we have to? Why do we have to have this preconceived notion of what somebody's supposed to be based on
Yeah.
their gender? And one person changed their gender, and thank God, because they were miserable before that happened. Or I'm projecting on that. I don't really know, but I'm guessing there was a whole lot of just like relief to
Yeah.
be who they knew they were.
Yeah.
It just seems so silly.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also spent time with a lot of manly men. Oil field.
Oh, I
I think I
bet.
might have told you I had a biker buddy and his crew, and
Yeah.
that's the real man stuff. And it was all about being a man. And I was shoulder to shoulder with him, and everything just going. And we sure spend a lot of time on this. Why
Yeah.
don't we just do what we want to do? I mean, anyway, but so that's kind of evolving, but
Yeah.
it just seems like just a whole lot of wasted energy
Yeah.
in the negative sense, in a lot of positivity, and the people that become comfortable with just being who they are
Hmm.
allowed to be who they are. So I mean, there's
Yeah.
that trade-off, but then
Yeah.
there's this kind of this divergence that
Yeah.
is
Well,
not really comforting.
and I just feel like, everyone just be cool. Don't be creepy. Don't be over needy. Don't be like a baby. Just
Yeah,
pull your own weight and like everybody, let's just get along. Like we were all on this planet together
yeah,
and we're all coexisting. So let's just do that as peacefully as we can. Don't abuse children or old people or, you know, animals,
yeah,
and just be cool.
yeah. Oh, I wish,
Yeah.
but there's segments of the world like this little paradise we're in that
Yeah.
seems to
Thank
be
God.
open-minded
Yeah.
and welcoming, and that's great. And
Yeah.
we unfortunately have to drive through some of the other parts of the world that are not that way, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can do your best and
Right.
be smart about it. You're
We
not going to change them.
we have a friend who owns it's called the Patagonia Lumber Company, and the experience there is always just extraordinary because we talked about the people who live here that are from all over the world, and a lot of times on the weekend you'll find those people hanging out at the Patagonia Lumber Company, and the experience is just like one of a kind because you never know who you're talking to, you never know where they've lived or what they've done, and really that was the inspiration for this entire channel and thing that I'm doing now is because you just never know who you know until you start talking to them, and
Yeah,
people are so interesting.
yeah.
Everybody
What a
has something to
what a
share.
great place to integrate with a lot of different people.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I,
there's picnic tables, and a lot of times you'll be sitting at a picnic table with people you didn't know before you walked in, and by
yeah,
the time you leave, you're great friends.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and you're
That's
having dinner the
wonderful.
next week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Really great experience there.
just fantastic. All right. Well, I think we should probably wrap this
All right.
up.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Brad. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. We'll see you next time.